Guys, let's crack on with the show. The first entry we are going to talk about this evening is Australia. Yes, Montaigne is back. Yeah, having not had the chance to represent the country last year with Don't Break Me. This year, she's back in glorious Technicolor. Now, Australia, obviously, 100% qualification record from the semi-finals. Best ever placing came in 2016 with Danny Im when she came second. I could be preaching to the choir, but Michael, come on. Australia this year, awesome entry, yes?
So I think, g'day. Look, can I just say, I think this is a marked improvement on last year's song. And I think it's actually a really, really interesting song. Montaigne is being, the performance which you see is at a big open studio, open air performance, and it's a live performance. That's the video we've got. It's the same which we did last year for Cape Miller Hiking. This song goes to some really, really interesting places. It's a risky song, but you know what? We're not in it to come. Well, maybe we were once. And I think we go hard, go strong. And Montaigne this year is showcasing it. And can I just tell you, listening to that first time and see would she hit those notes? And you know what? It actually wasn't a bad effort at all. And I think with some awesome staging, this is going to shine when we come to Rotterdam this year. You know, there's nothing better than being in a semi-final and waiting for that 9th and 10th place to be announced in the final. We love a little bit of excitement down under. And I think Montaigne's going to be it.
Cool. I like that. The hint there that Australia could be one of the last countries to be announced. Phil and Michelle, obviously, you guys, massive Montaigne fans. If you were long-time viewers of the show, you'll know last year for the Australia Decides review show, Michelle and Phil dressed up in blue wigs. This year, Montaigne has gone pink. Oh, and so have Phil and Michelle. I could even suggest that it was just a wig that went round the washing machine and got dyed pink. Guys, what are your thoughts on Montaigne's entry this year?
I don't like it. I love it. I think it's the most underrated song that there is this year at Eurovision. I mean, the bookies reckon it's not going to quali, and I think you'd have to be daft to think it is. And she did sing it live outside in a huge stadium where the sound isn't going to be that good or anything. And I think in the studio of Eurovision, where it's gone through to within an inch of its life, I think she'll perfect it, and I think it will stand out a mile. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a brilliant, brilliant song.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a difficult song to sing though, but if she can nail it,
she hit that note outside. Yeah.
I mean, she's going to have to really nail it 4 times. You know, the jury, the jury final, and the main final. But if she can perform it well and do the dance routine, I think this could be amazing.
I think it will be amazing.
I agree. It's really overrated. And I agree with Michael. It's better than last year's song.
It's not very often that we agree on things, but yeah, we do on this. It's brilliant. The song, the lyrics are brilliant as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like it. And, it does stand out.
It's not your standard formulaic banger. It's an original sounding song.
It's an original banger.
Yeah, it stands out.
Okay, now, Elliot, I mean, let's actually think about this. Does Montaigne stand a chance of qualifying? Is this going to be a shock non-qualifier on the night? What do you think?
I mean, semi-final one is incredibly hard. We've got to acknowledge that like good songs are going to fall. I think this song is getting through. It's the only song like it in the competition. It's very Marina and the Diamonds. It's very British. It's very current. Her voice is fantastic. She's actually one of the only few people who's actually done a proper live performance of this song this year. And as they said, she was singing outside. She admitted she was incredibly nervous. And she still did a very good job for the bulk of that performance. And even we saw this with Don't Break Me. The staging she was going to do, Kate wasn't going to qualify after she won Australia Decides, gets a top 10 finish. So I do see this going through because I think the juries will really appreciate its artistry, how different it is, how it stands out. And I loved Don't Break Me last year, but I really love this. The lyrics are brilliant. You know, I want to be close to my mother. I want there to be I want a future I can walk towards. Like, they're powerful. These are powerful lyrics that she's wrote. And yeah, I think Australia. Every year the fans say Australia's going to not qualify, but I just think it's because they're bitter that they're in the contest and because they actually send good stuff. Like, I don't understand this dismissing of Australia every year, because this is going through, I think. I would be very surprised and disappointed if Montaigne didn't make it.
And I think that's a valid point there, isn't it? Because Australia have been so consistent with the quality of the entries they have sent even over the years. Now, Tristan, let's come to you. Obviously, Don't Break Me versus Technicolor. Is this a step up this year? Has she actually taken things up a gear this year? Which one would you prefer?
I prefer this year's. I love it. I think it's so different. As Elliot said, Faye Marina and the Diamonds. It's such a complicated song, and it's interesting. I think it will definitely qualify as well. I'm not sure how it will do in the final. I think it's going. I think this will. I have a feeling this will probably start semi-final one, and it will just be such a memorable occasion. People are going to say, "Well, that's good," but it wasn't as exciting as the very first song we saw. And I think it'll get through on that basis. It is great, and her live performance at Sydney Mardi Gras was outstanding. I mean, I wasn't even. I thought that maybe it wasn't even live, but it was live. It was just so good.
Okay, cheers, Tristan. Now, I want to come to the other three panelists, but I've got a specific question for you. The two-part question. Do you see Australia qualifying to the final? And if you do, where are we pitching this? Where do we think realistically Australia are going to end up finishing this year? And I'm going to go to Gustav first.
Of course you are.
It's because I love you. It's fine.
What were the questions? Sorry, I forgot.
Is Australia going to qualify? And if it qualifies for the final, where can you realistically see it being placed this year?
Yes, it's going to qualify because it's an amazing song. And everyone who says that it's not an amazing song, you are wrong. And that's facts. However, it's probably going to be in the middle of the scoreboard on the final, but it deserves more.
Okay, we're aiming for mid-table for Montaigne there. Let's go to Stu next.
Thanks, Tom. Look, I don't see any problems with this qualifying from its semi-final. In fact, because it's drawn in the first half, I think this will open the semi-final, and I think this is the perfect song to open the semi-final. And Montaigne has a really popular type song, very current, sort of thing we hear in the charts all the time. And isn't that what Australia should be proud of sending? Something that's really current and represents the Australian music scene. And this really does. And I'm here for it. I think it's a fantastic song. And I can't see a scenario where Australia doesn't qualify. I can't see Australia winning Eurovision this year, but I don't think they'll have a bad Eurovision. Anyone who thinks that they aren't going to qualify needs to probably look back over the last 4 or 5 years to see how they do in the semi-finals. And I expect Montaigne to bring it in Rotterdam. I expect a really polished performance on stage. And I think it's going to be one of the surprise growers during the Eurovision week. So I really do. I really think it's a really good one. Can I just make a point though? Because I was very, very impressed by what Tristan was wearing a few minutes ago. Can we just bring Tristan back on screen for a second? Because I just thought this was lovely. Tristan, you put me in mind of a film, my friend, and I just thought I would grab a screen grab. There you go. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. I just thought that was very apt. There we go. Thanks.
We love it. Look at the competition. I mean, what is it with the panel this evening? I mean, we've got underwear, we've got wigs, we've got blooming bagpuss wrapped around a neck. Blimey. Let's go to Oban. Oban, what's your predictions for Australia?
I think I am the only one who thinks that. I think Technicolor, I love it. I liked it more than Don't Break Me, but I think this is not going to qualify. I always got this wrong, but I have this feeling that Australia and Lithuania will be the two of the shocking non-qualifier. So I see Australia's chances a little bit getting tighter to qualify. But personal taste, I love it. I prefer it over Don't Break Me. I have it on my playlist. Every time I drive, I listen to the song. One of the must-listen songs, almost my work. But having said that, I think it's one of the shocking non-qualifiers in 2021 in Rotterdam.
Controversial. Obviously, we would never hold anything against anyone on this show. So, Oban, 21st of March, shock. Sorry, I'll deal with that later. Jude, let's get your view, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, so for me, this song is kind of like a 7 out of 10. It grows on me every single time I hear it. So I think that's a positive, and that the more people hear it, they are going to like it more. And her vocals are just incredible. I think this song really shows off an incredible vocal range. I think it will qualify, but just to reiterate what most people have said, I don't see it finishing top 5 or top 7. But I don't see why it wouldn't qualify, because she sounds absolutely fantastic and it's a grower.